Ahoy hoy, I'm Planet Walk, and recently I made a video about the whole Black Swan thing, and flat earthers were pretty triggered by that. So let's take a look at some of the comments that they left on that video.
Hello, it's me, Gary Wabunga. Anyway, I'm here to tell you that it's not been torn apart no matter how loud you cry. There is no black swan, there's just swans. Swans are absolutely everywhere. I feel like I'm stuck in the middle of a nature reserve. Hey, here's another load of bollocks. The horizon is simply a function of the eye, based on elevation of the surface. Yep, complete nonsense. It forms when there's not enough angle over the waves to differentiate them from the waves in the foreground. Yep, just make that bit up. And here's something else I'm going to make up. Look, if you go higher in elevation, the horizon will be further out, and lower at elevation, it will be close. Oh no, that's actually true, and what we'd expect on a globe. Yeah, forget I said that bit. Anyway, we can see further on clear days because our eyes or the camera can resolve a little bit further, because on a clear day, the laws of physics and the Rayleigh criteria and diffraction patterns, they work completely differently. It's really simple stuff. Anyway, the whole point of this post is for me just to pretend that it's the shape of our eyes and how we see things that makes us think we're seeing a curve when we're not. And I'm going to completely ignore the fact that if I was, for example, to look at a straight line, like one drawn on a piece of paper, my eyes can definitely see that it is straight. So, yeah, when it suits me, my eyes see a curve, and when it doesn't suit me, they see a straight line. And that's basically what I'm saying, because I haven't got a clue what the proper physics is.
So there's a couple of problems here. The first being is that I'm not sure if Gary is aware of this, but photos are being taken with cameras, not with eyes. When talking about photos, you might want to talk about actual cameras, not eyes. That would probably help your argument a whole lot more. Just a bit of advice for flat earthers out there. And the next thing is that flat earthers like Gary like to bring up all these things that they think prove that the earth is flat when it looks like a globe. The problem with this is that a lot of these things that flat earthers bring up are generally well understood. Like a flat earther might say, well, waves, that's why objects appear to disappear bottom first when going over the horizon. Except that there's tons of problems with that explanation. One of the problems being is that if a wave is going to obscure something that's taller than the observer, the wave itself must be taller than the observer, otherwise it's not going to obscure it. Now the last point that I want to touch on is very minor. None of this has anything to do with the Black Swan image. So next person.
Hello, it's me again, Jerry Windbanger, and I'm writing a novel, right? See what you think of the beginning, I quite like it. The tide was up, or the waves and swells were larger than a combination of both. That's how all good books should start. Where the horizon is formed is dependent on the elevation over the surface, just like we'd expect on a globe, yeah? If you took this picture from the exact I didn't put any pictures on the Anyway, if you took a picture from the same place, when the tide is up, the elevation of the surface would be less than if the tide was down. And I'm now going to pretend that I've just explained how the horizon on a flat earth is formed. See how simple I am? See how simple this stuff is once you realise it's all just based on your visible angles.
So Gary, you might want to take a look at the image that you've time-stamped there, because it's this one. So this image here is photoshopped, and it's obvious that it's been photoshopped. Just look at the letters in Hill House. There's clearly some smudging going on there. The reason why I created this badly photoshopped image was to make a point about what you can bring up in regards to debunking an image. So for example, if someone wanted to debunk my image, they could say, well, the letters in Hill House are clearly smudged, so it's obviously been photoshopped. To which I could use quantum erasers logic and say, well, that's not part of my argument. The letters in Hill House have nothing to do with my argument. My argument is that the horizon is appearing in front of the platforms, not some letters. Now, to anyone with more than a couple of brain cells, you can obviously point out the letters in Hill House, because they are part of the image. It's not like they're separate somehow. They're still a part of the image and can be used to show that this image has indeed been tampered with. So to sum up, Gary responded to an image thinking that it was real when it was obviously fake. What a galaxy brain.
Hello, it's me again, Germaline Wombalina. The platforms being distorted somewhat is simply just a matter of what I think are called heat waves. Now, where I live, it gets fairly hot. You see, I forgot how to work the thermostat. And on some days, things are so shimmery in the light that they are totally distorted, even when they're very close. That has nothing to do with the horizon. Well, yeah, actually, that is true. It does have nothing to do with the horizon, does it? Just a bit of refraction. Anyway, the horizon is simply a function of elevated angles over the surface. I'm just going to keep saying that, even though it's wrong.
So finally, Gerry has decided to try and make a relevant point, except he's still wrong. I mean, distorted somewhat. Does this look somewhat distorted to you? I would say that it's heavily distorted, not just somewhat distorted. This heavy distortion indicates that there is a lot of refraction taking place. In fact, there are other images of the same two platforms with a lot less distortion, and one of the platforms is hidden behind the horizon partially.
Hello, I'm back again. It's me, Gambito Windiego, and I'm just here again to tell you, once again, that your eyes work as a cone, with everything converging and compressing to the centre, and more so close to the centre it gets, and the horizon just happens to be at the centre point. No idea what I've just said there. See how easy it is once you understand that I'm just talking nonsense?
So here's the thing, this is the image that he's referring to with that lovely little timestamp that he supplied. And what he's saying is completely irrelevant. These weren't taken with our eyes, these were taken with cameras. If you're gonna talk about something to do with the eyes, make sure you're not referring to something that's being taken by a camera. And Gerry didn't even address the argument that I made. I used that image comparison to show that there is definitely refraction happening in the Black Swan image. Not something to do with how our eyes work.
Hello, it's me, Jeremiah Wumbelina. I'm back again, and I'm just here to tell you, with no punctuation, that atmospheric looming would require a lot of haze in which you wouldn't be able to see the platforms. LOL. It's a great joke. LOL. Laugh out loud.
That's a nice assertion that you've made there, Gerry, but why would it require a lot of haze? Do you have any evidence to support that claim? No? Didn't think so. Okay, I've had enough of Gerry. Let's get someone else who's a little less triggered.
You're what we call an NPC, mindless, soulless being, Agent Smith of the system, who has zero internal thought and is programmed not to break free of their brainwash herd mentality, but feel empty inside, having no divine spark.
What? I mean, the comment is kind of original, but I mean, it's kind of like you run some sort of thing through an AI and decide to generate, a block of text and paste it into a video, despite it having no relevance to the video. That seems a little more like an NPC than me, buddy.
Short Bear says, what type of refraction? Looming? You can't loom the horizon over the horizon, you utter moron. Where the platforms are is not the argument.
Okay, it sounds like it's time for a little bit of a lesson. So, let's say we have a blue object. I know it's black, but this pen is black. Pretend it's blue, right? And we've got a light source, and the light source emits light, and some of the light hits the object, right? If that object is blue, it'll bounce off the blue light waves. But these blue light waves will be bounced in every direction, right? Like that. You'll basically have blue light waves being bounced off in every direction. Now, this is true for every point on the object. No matter where the light hits, it will be bounced in every direction. And this applies to much larger objects as well, like, let's say, the Earth. So an important thing to note is that light must reach an observer for the light to be seen. If that light hits here, that light will not be seen by the observer. So we could say that the horizon for this observer is about here-ish. So with that in mind, if the light from the horizon is travelling in a path that is that way, and there is a lot of refraction happening that curves the light downwards, that light will reach there. But that's not the only light that's being bounced from the horizon. There'd also be other light about here that would, make its way to there, and it would make the horizon appear higher. But that's not all. This would apply to light bounced from here. this light would also end up curving like that. And that part would appear higher than there. So this means that this point here appears higher than this point. Even though it's not directly in the line of sight, refracted light can make it appear within the line of sight. And it would also appear to be the new horizon if there was no light from, just say, here being refracted. And that is how a horizon can be loomed. I hope you enjoyed my TED Talk.
Hello, it's me, Nathan Hokey Cokey Jokley, and I think everybody knows that what I'm about to write, even I don't understand. You ready? Refraction, yep. If the horizon is refracted using terrestrial refraction and the geometric R value in 7/6R, it's not geometric, as in required by your geometric model. Yep. Even I didn't understand that. So sit down and get a pen. I'll draw one for you there. We do not have two horizons, just one, and yours was geometric until we debunked it. Now you claim your required geometric location is accountable in refraction. Smile. Anyway, after that load of codswallop, I'm going to say game over, moron. You no longer have a physical geometric sphere edge for horizon. Checkmate. Woohoo!
So Nathan, let me explain this very simply. All light can be refracted. We see light. We do not see geometry. Therefore, the horizon that we see is one based on light, which can be refracted. Now, there are people that will use things that aren't as influenced as much by refraction as light, and they'll use that to measure things like where the horizon is. Maybe flat earthers should try that. I know they won't though, because they refrain from doing anything that can't be done with a P1000.
Hello, it's me again, Nathan Hokey Cokey. Will you be my friend? I've got a link for you. Ready? Plain or woke... Oh no, that's you, isn't it? Sorry, but I've debunked you. Checkmate, Fundy. We do not have a physical geriatric sphere, how do you say that? Geometric sphere for horizon. If the horizon's looming, it's not geriatric. Also, the sky is not a vacuum. Outer space, the sky vacuum, is a violation of the second law of thermodynamics, which I've proved numerous times. I only just barely know how to say, let alone explain. If the sky was a vacuum, the gas we breathe would fill the space. Wow. Any photo claimed to be taken from the sky vacuum is fake. Just like my belief in a flat earth.
So the planet walk debunked part, that's just him repeating what he said in the last comment. As for the sky not being a vacuum, that has nothing to do with Black Swan, but I guess I'll address it anyway. So Nathan claims that outer space would be a violation of the second law of thermodynamics. So if the atmosphere wasn't held to Earth by a container, then I would agree. But it is. That container is called gravity. You know what could possibly be a violation of the second law of thermodynamics though? If there were a pressure gradient that was able to persist without a force.
Hello, it's me again, Nathan Croaky Pokey, and I'm here to tell you that the term apparent is redundant, just like I'll be when Flat Earth dies. All horizons are by definition apparent. The physical globe horizon is based on the height of the observer. The globe model has a physical geriatric horizon, and in reality we only observe one, which varies. I'm just talking nonsense. It has fixed physical limits, blah blah blah. I'm just trying to claim that the horizon isn't a real place. Because that's what I do. I'm Nathan Croaky Pokey, and when we start talking about things that I don't understand, I just try and play word games to make it look like I'm not as stupid as what I really is.
So Nathan, are the shapes of the platforms that we see in that image apparent? If so, does that debunk the actual geometric shape of the platforms? I'd like to know.
Hello, it's me again, Nathan Jokley, 198.0. Just here to tell you that I screenshot all of my comments, just in case you delete them, you coward. But also, mainly because I don't really get a lot of nice messages, and sometimes I get quite sentimental, and it's just really nice to look back at them all and think about all the pleasures that we've shared together and the good times, Please write me some more.
That's funny. I did the exact same thing. I screenshotted all your comments just so that I could put them in this video. Can't delete them now.
Wrong. Refraction. So the horizon in the image is refracted. So not geometric then. Where is this geometric horizon? By the way, planer walk, whatever your name is, you are so bad at this.
Do you flat earthers seriously think that just because you don't observe the geometric properties of something, that means that the geometric properties don't exist or are false? If that's the case, then let me disprove the geometric properties of my face. I can't be ugly if my face has no geometric properties.
Dude, you are a fanboy. So sad. You keep saying things like refraction and looming and have no substance to your argument at all. Basically, your argument is nuh-uh.
I'm pretty sure I explained it pretty well. If you go back and actually watch the video, I showed this comparison image and explained why this comparison image shows that there's looming in the Black Swan image. But you know, I have since been alerted to the presence of this image. Try and explain that, flat earthers. But anyway, that's it for this video. Leave a like and subscribe if you liked that video. Also leave a comment letting me know what you think. Big shout out to both Conspiracy Cats and the patrons who decided to read a comment for this video. Also, if you are a $10 or more patron and didn't realize that you were able to read out a comment for this video and you wanted to read out a comment for this video, be sure to go over to Patreon and send me a message because I do have more of these coming up. But as always, a big shout out to all my $20 or more patrons: TheSunExpress, What Jesus, FTFE, Holmes, Hugh Jarsz, M.C.Nutkin, Wolfie, Stringer News 1, Ashpanash, Reynolds, Curvy New Yorker, and Syssiphus. If you want to support me financially, you can do so over on Patreon. The link will be in the description, and it's always very much appreciated. But as always, I will see you in the next video. Between you and me, thank you for watching. You know, there was a Scotty Storm comment in this video, and the weather today has been pretty hot. So, you know, it'd be worth it to do a Scotty Storm impression. So here we go.
No!